Good morning, beloveds. You can probably see that tail. I have Foster this morning. He is an absolutely gorgeous. We think he's a Havana Brown. Which is a combination of a Bombay and a Siamese. So he's got that real strong, lithe Siamese body, but he's got that dark brown, chocolate brown, black Bombay color. But he has bright green eyes. And he also has the short ears. Apparently the Havana Browns have short ears. And he is gorgeous and loves me, and nobody ever gets to see him. So I'm going to see if I can get the camera. Nope. I moved and he's gone. I was going to try and show you Foster. He is one of, don't get me wrong, I love all of my cats. I don't have a favorite, but I have favorites in different categories. They're all my favorite. And he is a love. He is an absolute love, but only on his terms. Only on his terms. So, it is Monday. It is November 16th. We are in the month of gratitude. And our title is Abundance. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And that is from Psalm 37, 5. And my vet just called. Probably to let me know that one of my other cat's meds is in. So, let's try this again. November 16th, abundance. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Psalm 37, 5. It is written that the law of the Lord is perfect. Therefore, when we commit our ways unto the Lord, we are automatically using this perfect law. Even in the most trivial things of life. To this law, there is neither great nor small. It always responds to us by corresponding with our mental attitude towards it. Our mental attitude can be consciously controlled, therefore we can always make conscious use of the law of good. Today, I have faith in the law of good. Today, I guard my thinking, consciously endeavoring to think affirmatively and with faith. I believe that the law of the Lord will bring every good and perfect thing to me and will bless everyone whom I hold in consciousness. Knowing that the law of good operates through my word, I speak this word with implicit confidence, with complete acceptance, and with absolute abandonment to good. And from the Science of Mind text, Such is the power of right thinking that it cancels and erases everything unlike itself. It answers every question, solves all problems, and is the solution to every difficulty. And that is from the Science of Mind text, page 188. Okay. I know that he's talking about abundance, but what I heard today reminds me of the Bible quote about praying without ceasing. And I had this conversation with a friend of mine who is also a practitioner and was going to go to ministerial school. And then life happens and she hasn't gotten around to it yet. But I think one of the things that ministers understand is that we are always praying without ceasing. Every single person is praying without ceasing. But what makes ministers and to some degree practitioners different than what we would call the laity, the lay people, is that we're aware of this. Now, are we aware of it 100% of the time? No. Do I think every thought is a prayer? No. Do I know that every thought's a prayer? Yes. But that doesn't mean that all of my thoughts are completely conscious. It just means that I have come to the understanding that my thoughts, my words are creative, and that in the very definition of praying without ceasing, I am doing it. And so I endeavor to make my thoughts more positive, more affirmative, more conscious than not. Okay? It doesn't mean that 100% of my thoughts are positive, affirmative, and conscious. But I am conscious of the idea that I do pray without ceasing. What that means is that when I think about people, when I consciously think about people, I am thinking affirmatively, positively. I am wishing good on them, or knowing good, whatever word you want to use. Wishing may fall a little hard on the ears. So that is that prayer without ceasing. That when I am thinking about the world around me, that I make that attempt to almost always do it positively. I'm human. I'm gonna have negative thoughts. I'm gonna have thoughts that I'm not proud of. But I'm not gonna beat myself up over that. Okay? So that is what I hear him talking about today. Abundance. Right? And as Jesse was saying on Sunday, it's like, do you want a bunch of junk, or do you want to feel like you're prosperous? So keep that in mind. You can be surrounded by stuff and still not feel prosperous. All the money in the world will not make you feel prosperous if that love isn't in your heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Okay, so that's talking about the law. How do you get abundance? By using the law. How do you use the law? Consciously. It is written that the law of the Lord is perfect. And consider that perfect means whole, not flawless. Okay? So just bear that in mind as you're thinking about this. Therefore, when we commit our ways unto the Lord, we are automatically using this perfect law. So it's not about Deuteronomy. It's not about all of the rules. It's about the law is how we interact with the world, how we interact with spirit, and then how spirit interacts back with us. Even in the most trivial things of life. When you go through practitioner training, one of the requirements is that every quarter semester, they're 3 periods. You have to meet with a different practitioner. So occasionally I will meet with a prac student. And I had one prac student who came in and she says, well, I don't have anything to treat for. And I was like, well, 2 things. One, practitioners love that kind of client because that means that your life is going well and we get to treat for it to continue to do that. You think that's trivial. You think that the only thing you treat for, the only thing you pray for is when things are big and, no. You can treat to have a good day. You can treat to have a good walk. You can treat to have a good dinner. All of those are prayer without ceasing. So the most trivial things in life, really honestly, and they do say it's the little things. It's like when you get further along, you realize that the little things are more important than the big things. So you're using this law all the time. Even for the most trivial things in the life, you are praying without ceasing. You are making use of this law all the time. The more conscious you are of making use of this law, the better you will use it. And I've suddenly become very Italian. To this law, there is neither great nor small. And that's what I told her. It's like, we can treat for little things. I mean, we can treat for the fixture in your bathroom if that's what you want to treat about. Or we can treat that things are going well and you want them to continue in that vein. That's great. We love that. We don't get to do that very often. So, to this law, there is neither great nor small. God does not know big nor little. Just like God does not know time. Because there is no time. Because infinite. It is always responding to us by corresponding with our mental attitude towards it. So, because I'm in Heartfelt Living and we were doing the prosperity. And one of the exercises, and I don't do it consciously anymore because it's kind of a default, but it's like, you know how when you're writing out bills, does anybody still write checks? Or however you pay your bills, and you grumble about it, and it doesn't feel good? Well, 100 years ago when I took Heartfelt Living, probably the first time, I don't know how many times at this point I've had Heartfelt Living. It's a great class. You should take it many, many times. It's a good way to get to know people too. They suggested, bless your bills. As you're writing that check out, bless that money. It changes your attitude. And it's not such an onerous task anymore. So it corresponds with your mental attitude. So paying bills, if you are blessing that money and the things that it's going to go do with you, sending it out of your hands, then it feels better. And so then the law goes, oh, okay, this feels good. And then responds to you in a good way, rather than giving you more opportunities to grumble about it. Our mental attitudes can be consciously controlled. Ernest is a firm believer. Our mental attitudes can be consciously controlled. Therefore, we can always make conscious use of the law of good. So that's what I'm talking about. Conscious use. Today, I have faith in the law of good. Today, I guard my thinking, consciously endeavoring to think affirmatively and with faith, no matter what I'm thinking of. And then also bear in mind that when you react to something, your first reaction is conditioned. Don't worry about your first reaction. Think about your response, your second. Basically, forget your first thought. Concentrate on your second thought. Because your second thought is more of who you are. And if you don't like it, then you know where your work is. Okay. I believe that the law of the Lord will bring every good thing, good and perfect thing to me, and will bless everyone whom I hold in consciousness. Which is why if I think about somebody, I want to do it positively. Even if I don't care for that person, because there are people in your life that you'd rather not be around. But when you think about them positively. You can think about them far away, but think about them positively. Know that they are a child of God, or as Jesse likes to say, a godling. Because the more you do that, the more you default into that, the more of that the world is going to show you. If you persist, the world is going to persist in showing you in what you persist in telling the world it is. That's Emma Curtis Hopkins. And I did not quote that perfectly, but close. You want to see yellow cows? Think yellow cows. Knowing that the law of good operates through my word. Knowing that the law of good operates through my word. Your word is powerful. I speak this word with implicit confidence, and with complete acceptance, and with absolute abandonment to the good. Trust your word. Trust in spirit. Have faith. Because if you have to see it to believe it, that's not faith. Sometimes you have to believe it until you see it. And that's where the magic is. Trust that you are a beloved child of God and that you will make good use of this law, because the law is not going to judge you. The law is going to give you what you ask for and how you ask for it, and it's going to respond to who you are. So, or as they like to say, correspond with who you are. And that's one of the reasons because you are praying without ceasing, try and keep your thoughts positive, affirmative. Have you seen Ghostbusters? The Marshmallow Man? Empty your thoughts. If you can't think something positive, then empty your thoughts. If you are just in that place, because we've all been there. I mean, this has been an interesting year, and I don't mean that. I mean that in the Chinese curse way. It has been an interesting year. So if you are struggling to think good thoughts, then empty your thoughts and go find something beautiful. Go find something beautiful to look at, to read, to listen to. Find something to fill you up in that positive way, and then do your work. Then think your thoughts. Then, that's why I started muting the news, because I just couldn't. And I was like, I cannot do this. Therefore, if I cannot control the negative thoughts in this environment, then I'm going to remove myself from this environment with the mute button. And this is what I had to do. Okay. Soapbox. Science of mind text. Such is the power of right thinking that it cancels and erases everything unlike itself. Which is why I said, if you can't have a positive thought, then allow your thoughts to rest. Allow yourself to think nothing. And then go and fill yourself up with beauty. Whatever that looks like to you. Art museums. Music. Go for a walk in nature. I took pictures of squirrel butts. I know. I find myself very amusing. I hope that you find me half as amusing as I think I am. Because the world will persist in showing you what you think, persist in telling the world it is. It answers every question, solves all problems, is the solution to every difficulty. So fill yourself up. All right, our mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to guard our thinking. Guard our thinking. And to rest. If we are in a place where it is hard to be positive and affirmative and loving and kind, then go rest. Go find somewhere that is loving and kind and beautiful to you. And fill up. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. And if you are struggling with right thinking, positive thinking, affirmative thinking, then go do what you need to do to get yourself back into that place. Nobody stays in it 100% of the time. Nobody. Even Jesus had moments, because you go back and read his story. When he was in the garden, when he was in the desert, he had moments. So you are allowed to have them. It's how you get yourself out of them that matters. And you also can ask for help. That's what practitioners are for. That's what ministers are for. That's what people who love you are for. It doesn't have to be a practitioner. It doesn't have to be a minister. It just has to be somebody who knows who you are. Because when you have forgotten your song, the people who love you will sing it to you until you remember it yourself. All right. That, I believe, is an African proverb. It's one of the more beautiful things around the world. All right. Do something loving for yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself. Please do that every day. And not just because it's 2020, but because you are a beloved child of God in whom spirit is well pleased, and you deserve it. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be kind. You deserve to have compassion. Everyone does. So, I'm going to move into the process of my day. The 23-degree shift has been fantastic. I had my windows open last night until it was 60 degrees out there and I had to put a sweatshirt on. So open your windows, allow some fresh air in, get some fresh perspective. Do something that engages your mind, your body, and your spirit. Take care of yourself. And open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven in to remind you you live in heaven now. You truly are a child of God. And you live in that grace. All right, beloveds. Reverend David will be on with you around 5. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.